Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to my live. So today we're going to talk about a very delicate topic, and this topic is about parenting. This is something that has affected the society at large. Remember, the smallest unit of the society is the family, and therefore parenting has a lot that it adds to the society. So today we're going to discuss about how passive parenting can affect the society, affect the child, and the society at large. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live. Today, I'm going to talk about a topic that is really delicate to the society at large. So, we're talking about parenting. What is passive parenting? What does passive parenting? What is the effect of passive parenting to the child, and how does it affect the society at large? We all know that the smallest unit of the society is the family. So everything starts from the family before parenting starts from the family. Teaching a child the best way to behave starts from the family before we move on to the outer community and to the outer community. Yes. So today's topic is parenting. Can parenting be passive? We're going to be talking about parenting, if it can be passive. Do parents really know that their parenting style is being passive, or do they know what they're doing? Do they know they're parenting rightly? So sometimes parents don't even know that they're being passive in parenting. They are doing it religiously, they are doing it wholeheartedly, but they might not know it's being passive. Yes. So before we move on, we're going to look at what passive parenting is. So what kind of parenting is passive parenting? We have different types of parenting styles, and passive parenting is one of them. What is passive parenting? So passive parenting is a parenting style that has low demands. That is, parents are not demanding of their children at all. They treat their children as equals. There's no expectation from the children. They don't teach children rules. They don't teach children regulations. There are no regulations. There are no rules to parenting. Yes. So we also have other types of parenting. Yes, but we're looking at passive parenting today. We're looking at passive parenting today. Welcome, Gift and J series. Welcome. Welcome to my live. I really do appreciate you coming. I don't know if you can hear me, but I do appreciate you coming. Thank you. So, our topic of discussion is passive parenting, yes. And then we're talking about how parenting can be passive and how parents don't even know that they are being passive in their parenting to their children, how they just feel they're parenting, but they don't know they are not doing it rightly. So we're going to talk about the different ways, its effect. We're going to talk about its effect, how it affects the child, how it affects the community at large, and then ways we can try to curb this as parents. How do we curb this? How do we parent the right way? So we're going to be talking about all this. I'm going to drop the link in case you want to co-host with me. You can come up, and then I have some questions. We're going to discuss together about the right ways of parenting. So I have the link there. I have the link there. Okay. Welcome, Jennifer Chris.
Hello.
I didn't even know you were back though. I was just talking and talking and talking.
Hello. Can you
I'm
hear
sorry
me?
for that. Yes, I can hear you clearly, loud and clear. Yes, I can hear you. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you very
Oh
well.
my God, network is bad. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you, Jennifer.
Host, I'm sorry. I can't hear you. Let me go out and come in again.
Okay, okay, okay. All right. Okay, gift. Yes, I don't know. It's just a coincidence. Yes. Okay, so I'll be continuing while others join in. So we've looked at the definition of passive parenting. I don't know if you have anything to say, you can put it in the comments. I'll read it out and for others to see too. So parenting is a very taxing thing, but people don't know. They just feel okay. We have the inbuilt thing of parenting, but it's not as easy as people think. Parenting it goes a long way. It can make the child or destroy the child, and it's something that you might not discover at the point where they are at their childhood, until when they grow into teenagers or grow into adulthood. That's when you see the impact of parenting from their childhood. You see how it can affect them and either affect them positively or negatively. Yeah. So um we know that passive parenting has different attributes. It has different characteristics. And what are these characteristics to passive parenting? Um, the situation where parents do not have control over their children. It's possible. Some people might ask, is this possible? There's no way. It's very, very possible. You see parents these days, some parents these days do not have total control over their children. They don't have complete control over their children. Um, and they believe in nurturing these children, which is very, very good. It's very good to believe in nurturing these children, but having control over these children is very, very important, because that's how you can have much effect on them. That's how you can have much effect on them. That's how you can impact them positively. If you have control over them, you can build in them the innate ability to be able to do the right thing, and also to know the right and the wrong thing. Okay, welcome back, Jennifer Chris. Can you hear me now?
Host.
Welcome back. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, or do I wear my earpiece? Okay, let me try
Hello,
wearing
host.
an earpiece.
Hello.
So can you hear me now? Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer Chris, can you hear me now? I'm not sure this earpiece is working. Can you hear me? I can't even hear you. Okay, so I think I should continue. I think I should continue while she's trying to fix the technical issue. So we're talking about the characteristics of passive parenting or passive parents. Hello, can you hear me? I can hear you. Hello, Jennifer Chris. Yes, I was hearing you. I can hear you. I can hear your background. I can hear your background. Check your mic. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So let me continue. Let me continue. Let me see. Your mic is mute. I don't know if you can hear me now. Okay, so let's continue. Where were we at? The characteristics of parenting? Yes, characteristics of passive parenting. Yes. So passive parenting, sometimes these parents are very, very responsive to their children's needs. But while being responsive to their children's needs, they don't try to build expectations and discipline in these children. This happens in such a way where the child is demanding and demanding, but you are providing for the child, which you should do as a parent. But there should be regulations to this. There should be expectations from the child. The child should know expectations which you have for him or her, and then the child should know that, okay, he or she mustn't have everything he wants. There should be a place where content will be taught to the child. Yeah. There should be a place where content is being taught to the child. And then another attribute of passive parenting is no rules or regulations. There are situations where parents do not put in rules or regulations. There's nothing binding to the child. And if you check the society now, there's some places where rules or regulations do not work. People don't follow rules. People don't obey to regulations and rules, which include the laws of their countries and their society at large. Yeah. So this happens, this come up from passive parenting. Welcome, Celis Ward. Welcome. Thank you for coming. So I was trying to talk about passive parenting. So we're talking about passive parenting. We're talking about its effect to the child and also its effect to the society at large. And then let me drop the link in case you want to come up. I don't know if you want to come up to talk about your experience on passive parenting. Okay, so I have the link here. So I was talking about the characteristics of passive parenting and its effects to the child. So one of the questions I have is, how can parenting be passive? When do you know that parenting is being passive? What do parents do to make parenting passive? So sometimes, parenting is passive when children do not know the difference between their needs and their wants. So they don't know when something is a need and when something is a want. That means whatever they need, they want to get it at that time. Welcome, Marin TV. So whatever they need, they want to get it at that time. They are not being as children, they don't have considerations. So it's just we, the parents, that have to build this in our children. We have to build this knowing the difference between wants and needs in our children. If they demand for things, we have to let them know what they need and what they want. They'd have to know the differences between needs and wants. They have to know when they need something, and they have to know, you have to be firm with the children. You have to be firm with them and then be able to explain to them. You have to be able to explain to them when I don't know if you guys can hear me. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, so you have to be able to explain to the children about knowing their needs and wants, and they don't have to always have whatever they want at when they want it. Yes. So you know when parenting is passive, when children lack rules and regulations. So for parents, what you should do is to put rules and regulations in place. You should put rules and regulations in place. Always let your child know that there are consequences for good and bad behavior, and also be firm. If there are consequences for good and bad behavior, be firm with them. You have to, if there's a bad behavior and there's a consequence for a bad behavior, you need to be firm with these children. You need to follow it through to make sure these consequences are put in place. Because sometimes if you don't follow it through, if you're not firm, these children will think you're just joking, and next time they just say, okay, mommy would let it be, daddy would let it be, and they'll always go back to doing what you've corrected them to doing. Okay, so Sailor's Word says, yeah, it's so true. Everything a child wants that you need to give to them, you can refuse giving them what they are asking by explaining to them in a nice way, so that they can understand it. Yes, you have to explain to them in a nice way so that they can understand. You have to teach them content from childhood, because if they don't learn how to be contented whatever they want with what they have, when they grow into adulthood, that's when you see um a lot of bad behaviors. You see people trying to um be covetous. You see people trying to steal. If they can't get whatever they want, you see them being depressed. Depression comes in. You see the issue of stealing comes in. A lot of things happening in our society these days, they are all effects of bad parenting, because sometimes the children are not being taught from childhood. So when they grow, it becomes very, very, it's something that they are not used to. So it becomes very difficult for them to pick up good behaviors at that adulthood. Yeah. So a child should be, Jennifer Chris said, a child should be taught when to demand for things and when not to. Yes, a child should be taught when to demand for things and when not to. Children will be children. They will always demand for things. They'll always ask for things. They would always be children. But as parents, you need to let them know when to demand for things and when not to demand for things. Yes. So we're also going to talk about effects. What are the effects of passive parenting? How do passive parenting affect the children? I'm going to talk about the effects of bad parenting. Then I move into how it affects the child, how it affects the society at large. So sometimes parents do not monitor their children or regulate their children. So the children tend to struggle. They struggle with self-control. They struggle with their emotions. They cannot balance their emotions. And this leads to a lot of variety of bad outcomes. Yes. So one of the effects of bad parenting or passive parenting on a child is academics, poor academic performance. So children have less self-discipline when parenting is passive. They have less self-discipline. They can't, there's no discipline. They don't know how to regulate their emotions. They don't know how to set rules for themselves. They don't know how to follow through rules. So they have less, they don't, parents do not monitor their children. If they are being passive, they do not monitor their children's academic performance. And therefore the children too will not be able to develop these skills to manage their own academic performances too. So children also lack emotional regulations. Due to passive parenting, children lack emotional regulations. They are not able to manage their emotions. They tend to be, thank you, Sam. Thank you for coming. So children tend to be aggressive. They tend to be aggressive because they can't manage their emotions. There's no emotional balance there. And then children tend not to know how to follow rules and regulations. They can't follow rules and regulations because these are not being put in place for them, so they don't know it. They can't follow rules, they can't follow regulations. So we also have the effects of bad parenting to the society. So if a child cannot follow rules and regulations, they tend to grow up being adults, and then they don't follow the laws of their society. They don't follow the laws of their country. They are not able to follow laws. You see people breaking traffic rules, people breaking different laws and doing different things because they are not being guided. Then how do passive parenting affect the community? Another point is children tend to behave badly when they grow up to adulthood. You see a lot of crimes around. There are a lot of crime. These children grow up to adults, and because they are not being regulated, they are not well disciplined, they tend to involve themselves in different societal crimes and different things that affect the society. Next, we're going to talk about how parenting can be made better. How do we bring up our children to be better versions of themselves? So the first point I'm going to talk about is being intentional. As a parent, you need to be intentional in parenting. You need to, I see parenting as something that is being given to us by God, is one of our purpose on earth. So these children are being put under you, they are being put in your care. So you need to do everything possible not to fail them. As parents, if you don't parent well, if you don't bring up your children in the right way, you're failing them, and they will grow up not to being the best versions of themselves. So being intentional, you try to look for the best way to parent, the best how to parent. You try to read up on best ways to parent. You try to set up rules and regulations for your children. Be intentional. Do everything possible to make sure your children grow up being the right version of themselves. Another way of parenting is to teach children to be self-regulated. Follow rules and regulations. Teach children to follow rules and regulations. Teach children to always abide by rules. They should know that there are consequences for bad behaviors and also consequences for good behaviors. Consequences for bad behaviors could be in terms of punishment, it could be in terms of discipline, and consequences for good behaviors could be in terms of rewards. You could give children TV time, give them gifts, give them toys. Let them always do something to gain a reward. Let them look forward, make them look forward to you catching them doing something good, and then you reward them for it. So um also, you also need to teach children to be contented with what they have. That way, if they're contented with what they have, they appreciate whatever they get, and they know the difference between wants, what they want at that time, and they know the differences between needs. Yeah. So you ensure the children understand penalty of breaking rules and be firm. That way, when they grow up into adults, they are being careful not to break rules, to break laws, and so on. Yeah. So I appreciate everyone who came to my live. Thank you. So we're going to end this live here, and then I'm coming live next time, and we're talking about other ways in which parents can parent intentionally. Yes. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching again. If you're doing a rewatch, I appreciate you so much. If you're new here, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping by. Do subscribe, like, and give me a comment. And if you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate you. Bye.